What's up, guys? This is Maria Zagara and this is Aleo Zagara, and today I want to talk to you about our Amazon FBA business. And I haven't talked about this whatsoever because it's been something that we've been working on, but I do want to make videos on it because I want to show you the process and what we've been doing so far. I'm not going to go too much into detail because you dropped your maraca. Hold on. I'm not going to go too much into detail because we're still learning, but as a beginner, I do want to give you that perspective because there's been a lot of things that we thought we would be okay with, and we would look at other YouTube videos thinking like, oh, it's already covered, but we didn't really see people talking about it. And so this is just going to come from our perspective and our point of view. And so far, we started talking to our supplier in March 30th. So it hasn't been that long. So today is June 28th, and it's been June, July. So it's been like a solid 2 full months going into 3. And it's been taking us longer than we would like, but we do understand that it's our first time, so there was a lot of going back and forth with the supplier because there was things that came up that we didn't know about. So I'll tell you what that is. And we found a product, my husband found the product, and he said, hey, I think this is a great idea. So immediately we split our responsibilities and our task, and he was in charge of looking for products and I was going to be getting in touch with the suppliers and negotiating. So I contacted a lot of suppliers in China. That's where we're sourcing from. I tried to look in other countries, but the product that we found that we liked, it's not produced in other countries. So sorry if I'm not as loud as she is, but it's not produced in other countries. And so it became a bit difficult trying to get multiple quotes because obviously we had to stick to one country itself, which you might find yourself running yourself into that. And it does have some cons if you're not able to source from another country that's not China. So basically, one of the biggest downfalls that we found from sourcing in China is the duties. So the duties is kind of like a tax that you have to pay, and that tax, it's really, really high. So the duty is going to depend on the product that you're selling. Each product, it has a different duty, but ours was up in like 31%, which I think it's really high for a tax. Some people pay only 6%. If you're able to source from like Mexico, it's 0%. But because we're in China and the product that we have, it went to 31%. So it's 31% based off the price that you pay for your product. So if I'm paying $2,000 for the total invoice on my product, I have to pay 31% on that $2,000. Okay, so my husband had to take the baby because she was being a little too fussy. And I want you to understand what I'm saying. So pretty much I negotiated with the suppliers, and I found 3 potential suppliers. One of them was, they were all different prices, but they were only off by like 10 cents, all of them. The most, I think it was like a 20-cent difference, which isn't a lot. And so of course, being new, you're thinking we have to negotiate like to the cheapest penny. And so that's not always the occasion. So I wanted to keep a good relationship with the suppliers because I didn't want to burn any bridges, and I wanted to make sure that if I needed to look for a different supplier, I would have options. And so with the 3 suppliers that I found, and again, I only found 3 because a lot of the other suppliers that I would contact, they would not contact me back. Some of them would contact me, but they would never send me the price. And others, like their type of response to my questions, they were not really being direct. They would just try to tell me like, okay, so how many do you want? And how soon are you planning on buying? And so I would tell them, okay, well, can you answer me these other questions? Like, how much is it for the shipping, for DDP shipping, for FOB, for EXW? Because I learned that it's important to get quotes for all of the different pricing, because sometimes they won't give you, they'll give you, for example, like FOB pricing, and you might think that that's just for the product, but you don't ask them. And so when you do ask them, like, oh, how much is it for the shipping? Sometimes they'll take advantage and they'll just say, oh, it's an extra so-and-so for shipping. So if you know ahead of time, hey, this is how much it is for EXW, for FOB, or for DDP shipping. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can give you some information. Just send me a message and I'll forward some information to you. Or you can also Google it. If you Google it, you'll find the answers there. So pretty much once I got those 3 suppliers that were really like fast and they were good with communication, I started talking to them like, okay, so how much for 500, for 1,000? I was talking about MOQs, so like minimum order quantities. And I was trying to see who was most flexible and a good pricing as well. So also, the thing that helped me determine which supplier we were gonna go with was the lead time. So the lead time was huge because I figured, okay, we're only gonna order 500, maybe 1,000 units for this first order. And I wanna know how soon these are gonna be able to be produced in case we need to order again, like who's gonna be able to produce them the fastest. Because if we run out or we're getting close to running out, I wanna make sure that I can order from somebody that is gonna be a lot faster, like, 15 days, 20 days versus somebody that would tell me like 30 or 45 days. That makes a huge difference. So that was a big factor for me, more than the pricing. We were willing to pay a little more to make sure we got a supplier that was gonna work a lot faster with us. So I had my 3 suppliers, and this is where I kind of messed up. So with 2 of them were really good. They were the closest in price, and they were really good at communication. One of them was kind of slacky. So she would answer me like sometimes every other day, 3 days later, and I didn't really like that. So with the 2 that were the closest, one of them gave me a lead time of 7 days, and the other one gave me a lead time of 20 days, 20 or 25 days. I think it was 25. And when I asked the one with the 7-day lead time, I said, hey, like, why is it so fast? And she said, well, because you're gonna order a sample from me, and once you place your order for the sample, I already have the mold of your product. So it'll only take us 7 days to have it completed. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, that's great. And so when I asked the other supplier, like, hey, why is it gonna take 25 days and this supplier is gonna take 7 days? Like, what's the difference? Well, this other supplier told me it's impossible for them to make it in 7 days. She sent me a schedule and she said, look, this is what our schedule looks like. We have to create the mold. We have to take it to planning. We have to take it to, and she pretty much just showed me the breakdown of their schedule. And she told me, I don't understand how they're gonna do it in 7 days. And so when I told the other supplier, like, hey, I have this other supplier that's telling me that it's impossible to do it in 7 days, she pretty much reassured me and told me, hey, look, like, once we have your mold and it's complete, the only things that are left are to do this, to do the cut, to do that. Okay, so I was like, you know what? I went back to the other supplier that gave me the 25 day lead time, and she told me pretty much take your choice, and if they're promising you 7 days, because I kept like kind of not arguing with her, but I kept telling her like, hey, can you reduce the time for me? Like, or can you like match it? Can you get a little closer? Because I did like this other supplier's price. It was a little bit cheaper. And she pretty much got like upset and said, I'm not gonna make promises that I can't fulfill. And so you're better off with the other supplier then. And she pretty much cut off all communication with me. And I was like, whoa, like, okay, like she got upset. And so I stuck to the other supplier. And then I went back and forth between the other two that I originally had. So it was kind of a downfall. It was a negative to have lost this other supplier because she was a good potential. She offered great things. She had great pricing. Her pricing was the best. I never got a sample from her. And so far, one of the biggest things I want to say that we would have done differently and we should have done differently is order a few samples. I knew we had to pay for samples. I knew we should have ordered more samples. But to be honest with you, we didn't, because each sample was costing us $140 with tax and everything. And with shipping fees, I mean. And it was the shipping that was the most expensive thing. So to make the actual mold, it was like $40 or $50, and the rest was all shipping. And so we're kind of working on a budget, so I wasn't trying to cut corners, but I figured, you know what, let's give this girl a shot. If it looks great, why get other samples, right? And so we ordered our sample with this supplier that had great communication. We got the sample. The sample was made super fast, and I think we got it within like 10 days. So I think that was pretty good, because they had to like make a molding for it and all that, and they sent it to us. So we got it literally from the moment we placed our order. We got it within 10 days. So that was really good. When we received it, it was great. Like, I didn't see any issues with it. Maybe there was like the front of our product was one color, and then the back was like slightly different color. So that was one thing. And then we just decided to make a few changes to our design, because the original design, we liked it, but we're like, let's look at our competitors and see what they're doing. Let's just see how we can compete a little bit more. And so we did make a few changes to the color, to the design, and even to our logo, because we had asked them to put our logo on the product, and we wanted to make a change on it because we were like, it looks kind of, just too, not the style that we want. And so from the get-go, we're trying to brand our product, and so we just decided to change it completely. We told our supplier, great job, it looks amazing, the printing is perfect, it looks great, we want to make a few changes. And so when we told her we want to make a few changes, like on our logo, she pretty much told me, is there a way that you cannot make a change on the logo, because we already printed all of the your logo like designs. And I told her, like, how is it that you already printed the logo designs when we haven't even paid you for them? So I guess that's how they were going to originally be able to do this within 7 days, because somehow they had printed some things already for us. And, and we told her, sorry, but we're going to make changes. That's why we ordered a sample, because we want to be able to test it and see, like, what do we want to like change here and there. And so she told me, okay, that's fine, but it's going to take a little longer. And so I told her, okay, that's fine. Like, how much longer do you think? And she ended up telling me, you know what, forget it. We can still do it in 7 days. So we're like, okay, awesome. So, she was the highest priced one, but they got it to us super fast. We had no problems with the quality whatsoever. And we actually purchased our competitor's product. That's something that I wanted to tell you guys. We purchased our competitor's product in time for when we received our sample, so we can compare it. And we actually did like we asked people like a survey, kind of like, which do you like best? And so we had people like voting, and it was really cool because it got like 50-50. So we had 50% of our audience say they liked our competitors, even though they didn't know it was our competitors. And then we had the other 50% say they liked ours. So it was pretty satisfying to see that, because, we said, wow, it's our first time doing this, and people already like the style. So either way, we wanted to make a few changes. And then when we made those changes, we kept thinking, okay, well, what about packaging? Because originally we were going to use just a poly bag. We're just going to say, like, this is our test run. Let's see how it goes. But Mario and I got caught up, my husband and I got caught up on the branding part, and I was like, you know what, like, I just know we're gonna kill it, and so why don't we like get some quotes for packaging, and I'm sure it might not be that expensive. So long story short, our supplier told us, hey, like, if you do this box where you can put all your products in it, this is how much it costs you. So they quoted me for a price, and then they showed me a different kind of bag. It's like a inner aluminized craft bag, and you can look for them, and it's pretty much like a paper bag, but inside it's made out of aluminum. And this one was like a lot cheaper, and it looked really good and rustic, and we liked it. And so I told her, you know what, we want to do that. So when it came to that part, it was a good thing because my supplier was able to do it in-house. So the cost was a lot less. And the thing is that we ran into an issue with the colors. So when we told her, okay, well, this is how we want our packaging, she told me, well, you're limited to 2 colors only. And then I told her, okay, so we can only do like 2 colors. So if we do the writing in black or the, you know, whatever, it can only be 2 colors. So originally we had 3 colors in mind. So we found a designer on Fiverr, and we told him, hey, this is what we have in mind. Can you create something for us? Super simple, super minimal, and please, like, only make it 2 colors. So he did a great job. We revised it with him, and it looked amazing. And he kind of used like a design in the background, in the image of the bag, that was the same color as the writing, so we wouldn't use different colors. And then when we presented it to our supplier, she said, well, the design in the background, it's not going to work because I guess it's like a different shade, and we're not gonna be able to print it. So we had to go back and forth a lot with the packaging, but thank God we had a good designer that helped us with it, and he like fixed it for us. And so when I wanted to reach out to other suppliers that make these bags, because I wanted to make sure too that we didn't get ripped off. So I went back and I went on Alibaba, and I typed in like craft bags, you know, and I found a bunch, and I contacted so many like suppliers for them. But the problem with it was the MOQ. They were like, the minimum order quantity was 10,000. And I was like, well, I only need 1,000 maybe, you know? So I was willing to buy up to 3,000 because I figured, well, we're gonna order more of these, and we might as well buy a big bulk right now. But I didn't want to, I didn't want to buy 10,000 bags. I wasn't too sure about that, and plus our budget. So when I found a few that were willing to work with me with 1,000 bags, their prices were like triple the original price that my supplier gave me. So I still wanted to work with that other supplier that I hadn't gotten in touch with anymore, because she had offered me a great price too, and I wanted to see if she can still compete with me. So I would still contact her and ask her, hey, can you compete? Can you make me this bag? And how much would you charge? And they wouldn't make it in-house, so I guess she would have to like look for another supplier, and they were charging me a whole lot of money for that. So it just didn't work out. And we ended up placing our order with the original supplier that she was the highest in price per unit. But we had received a sample from her. We liked the work. Everything was as we had asked them. And once we had said, okay, well, we're already done with the packaging, then we started working on the insert card, because we had seen like, hey, like, we want to add like a little piece of ourselves to this and brand it a little bit. So also, like, if people need help, if there's any issues with it, or they just want to say thank you, let's provide an email, let's provide an Instagram. So we opened an Instagram account for our product, and we also created a domain for our product. So and we got an email for the product as well. So it's exactly directed to us, so we can, like, if somebody has any complaints or or any issues with it, instead of leaving us a bad review, I figured, hey, like they can probably contact us and we'll just take care of them. So, so far everything's great. We send the insert card to our supplier. They're only gonna charge us like a couple cents, super cheap. And we sent our transfer. So I made a contract, okay? And I'm not gonna take full credit for it. I used a contract that one of our, like a video that we follow, he had made. And so there were some really important things in there that I hadn't even thought about. Okay, so I might have got cut off there, but I want to just tell you that after we paid the 30%, we went through with the purchase and we sent in our payment, and it costs about $75 to do that. We had our product started. It took them actually 15 days to do our product. It didn't take them 7 days as they had told us they would. And if you're curious about that, let me know why that happened and I'll make a video about it. It's kind of going to be too long if I explain that right now. But we had our inspection on the 15th of June, which was just a few days ago. And everything went fine. We got a report the following day. Everything was so detailed, 36-page report, and it was so perfect and beautiful. And we were super excited because we saw it like at 10 o'clock at night and we just couldn't even go to sleep anymore. And we sent in the final payment after that, so 70%. And now it's, our freight forwarder told us that it should be leaving Hong Kong on the 11th of July, and it'll be getting to Long Beach on the 28th of July. So you can already see it's going to be a bit over 30 days because today's the 28th of June, and they're not going to ship it like right away. Like it's been done for 5 days now, like about 5 days. Actually, no, because the inspection was on the 15th. Well, it's been over 10 days. It's been about 13 days and it still hasn't shipped. I think they're going to take it to the port tomorrow, but again, it's not going to be here until July 28th. And even then it has to get unloaded. It has to be taken to the warehouse where my freight forwarder is at. And then, yeah, and then I'll let you know what's going on after that. I'm just making this video because it's more like a documentary and I want to show you the process. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm not going to tell you to sign up for my course or anything like that. This is just for me to watch in the future if I'm ever curious, or even to help somebody out that has a question or is confused about something, because there was a lot of things that I had looked for, and I think the most confusing thing for me was with the UPC code, with the FNSKU, the GS1 thing, and like all of that with the labels was the most confusing part for me. I think because I would hear one guy say something, then another guy would say something else, and it was just super confusing for me. So thank God we found a course, and we didn't pay anything for it. But this course was amazing. It took us step to step and from A to Z. Even about like ads and ManyChat and all these things, right? And I'm really grateful for that. If you want to know which one it is, let me know. Like, leave a comment down below and I'll let you know where we found this course. But yeah, I just want to document it and have some fun with it and show you where we're at. I promise you this will be the longest video that I make. It's just that I had to like catch up with everything that was going on so far. But from now on, each step that goes by, I'll be documenting it. And if you know, if you're excited to watch these, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel if you're new, and if you want to learn more about this. If you have any questions, again, leave a comment down below. I will make sure I answer your question. Comments, questions, concerns, feel free. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm just really excited because we have a lot of plans and goals for this, and it's scary, guys, but I think there's nothing scarier than not doing it and not experiencing it for yourself. So that's why we're so excited. So thank you so much. Have a great day.